Hi, we're going to go ahead and find the site to download VM Player from, um, and then go ahead and create a VM. So if you go to VMware.com and then go to Downloads, and if you scroll clear to the bottom, you'll look under Desktop and End User Computing, and then go ahead and load VM Workstation Player. So that is download the product. And then you'll just go ahead and select VM Workstation Player 12.1.0 for Windows 64-bit, unless you have a Linux box. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and minimize that. Once that's downloaded, you can go ahead and install it. And this is what VM Workstation 12 Player looks like. So we can go ahead and create a new machine, open a virtual machine, upgrade to Pro, or get some help. We'll go ahead and start to create a new virtual machine. Now remember, what you're creating is a space, basically, a file, a huge file on your drive. Typically these files will be 4 or 5, 10, 20 gigabytes in size, and the entire operating system is going to be loaded into that file, and the VMware environment is the go-between between the regular operating system and on your desktop, and then that internal VM operating system. Now, first option that comes up, install from installer disks. If you have a DVD, you can go ahead and use that. We'll go ahead and use ISOs, and we just need to go out and browse for the ISOs. I have it set up here, and then ISOs are on my drive. Now, on campus, if you go to drive G, and that's the courses drive, and then go to computer technology and Scott, and then you'll be able to go ahead and find the folder for our specific class, CSCI 212. There are two different ISOs to download. One is the ISO with the textbook, or the ISO to download and use. The ISO with the textbook, and then we'll use that first. And then that'll look like, the ISO itself will look like this: OpenSUSE CSCI 212, used with the Linux operations. It probably says textbook. Oh, and administration text. Okay, that's what we want to go ahead and open initially. The latter part of the course, you can go ahead and use OpenSUSE version 11, or 13.2 should work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and select OpenSUSE CSCI 212 with the Linux operations and administration text. Okay, you can see where that is installed, or will be installed. Go to next, and I would call it just OpenSUSE CSCI 212 textbook, or something like that. Now this is really important at this point. The location where you want to go ahead and put these virtual machines, by default they go into your C drive, and into your user directory on drive C. If you want to leave them there, that's just fine. If you're on one of the computers in the lab, you don't want to leave them there, you want to redirect them. I'm going to go ahead and browse and find a different location for these VMs. I'm going to go to drive E in this case. Let's see, virtual machines, and those are all the virtual machines I have in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, CI 212. Okay, that. So I'm going to put this OpenSUSE CSCI 212 textbook in the virtual machine CSCI 212 folder. We'll go to next. Maximum disk size is 20 gig. That's just fine. Leave it as is, especially for SUSE. The ISOs install it into a smaller footprint. If you're using server 2012 or 2016, that's going to be 40 gig right away, maybe 60 even. You can go ahead and split virtual disk into multiple files. Now, under customize hardware, we want to leave all these settings essentially. We want to leave the network adapter as NAT. Now, with the memory though, this is the minimal size. For better performance, you can jack that up to like 2 gig or 1.5 gig. Number of processors, this is virtual. You can go ahead and create and apply 4, 5, 8 processors. It depends upon your computer and how many processors you have available. So we'll go ahead and close that. those new settings are saved, and we just go ahead and finish. So what this thing is going to do is go ahead, go on out there and start to install SUSE. Now with that, I'm just going to go ahead and of course software updates. Let's go ahead and download and install the VMware tools. That's handy. Okay, so it's going to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a few minutes and then let this thing finish booting up. Okay, we're just continuing on here. This is in the installation. I may go ahead and pause every now and again, but the installation will go pretty quickly. You can see it's just going through the different steps: systems analysis, time zone, desktop selection. It's a new installation. We'll just go to next on that. Time zone, and wherever we find mountain time, Denver. Next on that. Okay, GNOME desktop. I want you to select the GNOME desktop. Now, KDE is just fine, but GNOME is really what I'm after here. It's more Windows-like. I think KDE is just a little bit different. We'll go ahead and create a partition-based system. So we'll just next enter a user's full name, Sean. Password. If we don't put a password on, it won't prompt us for that. So I'll go ahead, and there's no security issue, so I'm just going to leave the password off on and use the password for the system administrator. And automatic login. Yes, let's do that. Oh, no password. Let's add Sean, all lowercase, so this can remind me what it is. And then let's go into next. There we go. I think I've got it. The mouse is a little goofy sometimes. There we go. Next. Password is too simple. It's too short. Really use this password? I'm going to say yes. Not a good security practice. I'm still going to say yes. So it's going to tell me that it's not a great idea, but I still want to do it. Okay, and then we'll finish install and install. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and continue to work on this. In just a second, I'll bring you back. Okay, and it ran about another 3 or 4 minutes, and here we are. So this is our regular desktop. We can see the computer. That's like the start button for the GNOME desktop. So when we click on computer, we can see YAST, which is our control panel. We can install software. We can go to Open Office. We can go to Nautilus as the file browser. That's sort of like the Explorer within Windows. Now the other thing that we need to make sure that we can do is go to More Applications and find the command prompt. The terminal is actually what it's called. So I think, let's see, if we go to there, GNOME project, we can actually type in terminal. I think it might be under utilities. GNOME terminal. Go ahead and click on that. And then this is the terminal that we'll see. So you just type in commands, and you're good to go. We'll work a lot at that particular, at the command prompt. We'll work quite a bit there. We'll also do some GUI stuff. So that really concludes the finding VMware tools online, installing it, which I didn't step through that on the video, but it's easy enough to do. Finding an ISO, installing SUSE off of an ISO, and the settings that we might need to be associated with that. So I think that's it. Thank you very much.